This podcast is sponsored by Carrot Competitions. They're one of the fastest growing competition sites in the UK. You can win cash, trips away, watches, cars, much more. And ticket entries are as low as 5p an entry. And they also have some fantastic, funny videos on their Instagram page at Carrot Competitions 1. Go check them out, carrotcompetitions.co.uk. You can see the logo there in the screen. Yep. Hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Thank you. Welcome back to Kitchen Talk, episode, good question, 18 maybe. We're joined this week by the fantastic Luke Mcgibbon.
Hey,
Thanks
I've
for coming down.
Spilled water there.
The good thing is we are actually in a fully functional kitchen.
Yeah, we were just talking
There's
about
a tea towel just there if you want to use that.
I actually wasn't sure if this was really your kitchen or not, or if it was maybe like a friend's kitchen, or if it was like a studio space or something.
How bad do you think my kitchen would have been to film it in someone else's kitchen?
Yeah, absolutely rank. Like, I thought maybe, is this like a kitchen talk? Is this like a reference to Kevy 4X? No, because you know he's like
no. I was there before Kevy 4X. I don't think I was, but it's it is.
Who knows what age that guy is? That guy is like. Do you know why they have those pictures of Keanu Reeves when he was like? Not when he was a child, because they don't have that. But like the pictures of Keanu Reeves, and they compare it to pictures of like old pharaohs, and they're like, it's the same guy. And there's like a picture of like a count from somewhere and all. So it's like it's the same fucking guy. You know.
What period do you think if there was like a look like for Kevy 4X?
He does seem like a knight, doesn't he? But like, and I quite like him as a person. So I'll say like, but with love, but a bit of an inbred knight.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Not a very good one.
Yeah, 100%. Like he rides on a wee donkey instead of a horse, you know. But there's like, there's no family tree. There's just a straight line. There's a sapling, you know.
See, I was going down more the Greek route. I think he looks like a Greek slave.
Oh, actually, he does a bit, doesn't he? Like, do you know one of those guys? Not the beak, but like, you know, one of those guys who wanks in the street. There was like a famous philosopher called Diogenes, and he was famous for wanking in the street to make a. I think it was to make a point. It was make some sort of point. Like, I can't remember what it was, but he was known because he lived in a barrel and he used to wank and piss in the street and all. And people would go, "This guy's class."
I want to hear his views on life.
Yeah, he sounds like a pretty smart guy. There was this time when I think it was Plato or one of the big boys. I don't know how much about this, but like, he said like they were trying to define a man, and someone said like, oh, it's a feather. Like Plato said, it's like a featherless biped, and then Diogenes runs in with a plucked chicken, and he goes, "Behold a man." I just think that's kind of cool especially because the rest of the time he's wanking. Like he takes a break from wanking in the street,
and he does something really smart.
Yeah, the guy's a legend.
Maybe that's the phrase post-nut clarity. Do you think that's like his philosophy? He was like way ahead of the curve.
He just lives constantly in post-nut clarity. He's in mid-nut clarity. And then, do you ever get mid-nut clarity when you're in the middle of it and you go, oh no? When you have like a shit orgasm, do you know what I mean? Because you know you can come and then there's orgasm and like they are kind of separate, because sometimes you can come and you just shit, right? Isn't it?
I mean, yeah. There's sometimes when you have a wank and you just sort of do it to get it. We're not even 5 minutes in. We're on this.
Straight to wank.
And it's just sort of like, you know, it was more of a need rather than a want.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, you're just scratching an itch.
Yep.
But then just in the middle of coming, you're like, oh, this is shit. I want to rewind this.
Like you regret it almost?
Yeah, I think so. Especially if you need to piss even this much during it. If you need to piss even that much, it's just not a good time, I think. You need to be completely empty. Like, I don't know if you've ever had to stop in the middle of sex and gone like, I kind of need to pee a bit and I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not going to be able to finish if I can't. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, that, like 1% of your mind is constantly occupied with the need to piss. And you're like, nah.
Do you go back to the sex though?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, you have to, you know, you do need a moment. Like, you need to... it depends, because like sometimes you're still hard, and then sometimes but you have to push it down.
I was literally about to say pissing with an erection is
fucking nightmare. Again, 5 minutes in, like, but
you do have to stand a good bit back. I feel like.
I think so, but there's not that much room in my bathroom.
I'm not saying there's not much.
But it's just
penis room either. Like
when something's straight ahead, do you know what I mean? You have to, and it wants to stay straight ahead despite your best efforts. You almost have to put it in the bowl. You almost have to be like. You have to guide yourself a little bit. Anyway.
I love how we've went from Greek philosophers to...
Kevy 4X.
Kevy 4X, the Greek philosophers, to piss my boners. Yeah. It sets a great precedent.
Yeah, this is...
Already.
This is modern Diogenes, I think, right?
It is.
There's depth to it, really. There's depth to it.
Well,
I don't know whether to look at you or the camera, but what have people opted for when they're doing this?
Kieran Franco just looks at the floor.
Yeah, that is Kieran as well. Kindred spirits, him and I.
I don't look at the camera now. I would do it if I'm like addressing something to the camera.
Right.
You can look at me, but
yeah.
if we don't make too much eye contact, I'm not going to complain either.
No. Then you'll have to be pissing with an erection again. Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because I feel like if I suppose now I think about it, if I was watching a video podcast and they kept looking at that, I'd be like, stop.
Should we just do the rest of the podcast, not even looking at each other, just speaking?
Like, do you have Patreon?
No, but I can get it for this.
Do you know the names of any of your subscribers, like personally?
Apart from my friends, no, actually.
No, okay. There's like I was on Four Brothers and they have like a Patreon and they said they've got one subscriber on it, and I think that's so weird because you could just do each podcast directly as that guy. Like,
I suppose the Patreon episodes are for that guy.
Yeah, they are. It's like this next episode's about David. Like, why don't you talk to your sister anymore? What's going on? Like, you've relaying messages from family members you're estranged from.
That's a good Black Mirror episode.
Oh,
someone who's like obsessed with a podcast, like they're the
Yes.
biggest fan, and then like he subscribes to their Patreon, and then they just start like deep diving into his life. He's got some dirty secrets and all.
yeah.
Get on the phone to Netflix here.
Actually, that does sound pretty good. I would watch that. I don't know if I'd watch that podcast, mind you.
Oh.
But that would be. Though, sometimes you do kind of want someone else's perspective on your life. Like, I think is why everyone always wants diagnoses these days.
That's that Greek philosopher again.
There's your doctor diagnoses you with wanking in the street, or prescribes it, I suppose. Because I think like. Not the shame anyone who's looking at diagnosis or has a diagnosis, but I feel like sometimes people want a doctor to explain their personality to them. Like sometimes, like there was once I went to the doctor because my knees were sore and it turned out I had flat feet, and he was like, "Yeah, they've been like that your whole life, so it must have hurt whenever you tried to run as a kid." And I was like, "Yeah, it did." And I think people want that with their personality.
It sort of makes sense that something clicks with them.
Yeah. I think you want your doctor to go like, "Oh, you actually have this illness, and that's why you're a cunt." Like,
well, you are a therapist. Do you get that with? Not to go into like people's personal details, but you can go like the people come in and they just sort of. It's not really that there's essentially something wrong with them.
Aye.
It's more sort of they just want to know something about themselves that they can't work out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of folks like that. Yeah, definitely looking insight and stuff. And I think maybe sometimes it is people who already have a diagnosis and they found that isn't quite enough for them, because like I think there's something to it where it's like there's a relief in knowing that there's a term and a word for this.
Yeah.
But then I think sometimes people want it to almost be like biological. So they want it to be like there's a bit of your brain that does this, and sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's nurture rather than nature, or sometimes it's just your personality or you. And I think so I think there's different sides of it, but obviously I can't. A therapist can't diagnose. They can sort of go. I've read the DSM. Well, I've read what have you know the DSM?
No.
So it's like the manual of like psychiatric disorders, and it's on its 5th edition. It updates every 10 years.
Sure, that's a good read.
It's fucking massive. It is a fucking. It's about it's about this size now, and it needs to be shrunk because like half of these diagnoses are different words for the same thing. So there's like massive overlap in loads of things. So you could end up you look through it and you see yourself in there 20 times and you go, well, do I have this or do I have this or do I have this? And like I think it almost doesn't matter. Like there was this guy called Carl Rogers and he was kind of against diagnosis as a whole. Sheik?
Oh, no, that's Nile Rodgers.
Nile Rodgers, yeah. Though I would like to see a therapy session with Nile Rodgers as well, where you get up and dance. But like, he was kind of against diagnosis as a whole because he's like, actually, it's more just about what you're experiencing moment to moment. Like, you don't need a diagnosis for you to feel like you being sad is real. Like, some people think, oh, my depression's not real because it's not clinical. It's like, well, do you feel depressed? Then you're depressed to the extent that it matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe that doesn't mean you should get electroshock treatment, but like, someone should take you seriously when you say you're sad.
Is there anything in that book that sort of like diagnoses diagnoses, maybe.
I think that one, yeah.
That are like old phrases, you know, for like I don't know what way to best
His four humours are out of touch.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
He's colic.
Like, things like that, like things that they maybe said in like the 1800s for like a woman who was mental after like postpartum or something.
Hysteria was used to be the one. I don't know if I don't think hysteria is still in the DSM though. It's that big. There might be. It's probably just they're in different fucking words now.
Have you heard of mass hysteria?
Have I? Yeah.
There was one in Strasbourg. Now
Is it the dance?
Yes.
The dancing.
Have you heard about this?
Have I? Yeah.
It is absolutely mental. Now I don't know. I can't remember too much about the details. It was in Strasbourg. Don't know why I said it like that. I don't know what way you're meant to say it, but there was like in the 16th century, there was like I think it was then. I might be making that up as well. People just started dancing like fuck.
Yeah, and then they just died. They danced till they literally died.
Danced till they dropped, and it was what sort of tunes were they listening to?
Well, it'd be even weird if there was nothing as well, or like there probably was nothing, but then maybe someone was like, "This feels a bit weird." I better. He got on his lute. Yeah, got on his wee lute. You know,
that was a good lute impression.
That was actually, yeah. I feel like I haven't practiced. I swear. Yeah, that's wild, isn't it? Like, yeah, you have to wonder what the crack is behind that. I suppose it feels a bit grim talking about that since people died at Emerge over the weekend as well, being like,
oh, true.
Well,
I didn't even think of that.
They did not dance themselves to death. In fairness,
no,
they were
very much drugs.
They were, yeah, very much drugs. See, this is why Kevy Forex steers clear of the kitchen. What I heard is that it's because people do drugs in the kitchen, isn't that it?
Kitchen talk, yeah. It's sort of like at a party, you would sort of have like you would catch people in the kitchen talking absolute shite to each other. Which the sort of premise of this is just come down and talk absolute shite in the kitchen.
Right.
We do have a very, very, very serious guest lined up. Not as serious.
Oh,
guest.
Serious?
He's I can tell you who it is after, but I don't want to spoil it in case we don't actually get him. But it's a counsellor of some description.
Oh yeah, like a therapist or counsel.
No, like actual councilman.
Fuck right. Oh, here there's some sound ones like as well.
I think it's probably because I checked with Kieran to say like, is this okay to get on? And he was like, yeah, some of the acts know him, and I'm assuming you might know him to be fair, but he might be. We're getting him on, and so it's like one of those things where we'll have people coming down to talk shite, talk about wanking in the street and everything, and then we'll have someone coming down to talk about like reform or something.
Yeah, yeah, and also wanking in the street as well. Like in the same. You got to keep it light.
Speaking of wanking in the street, though, we did discuss this before we started recording. The vigilantes in the east.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy stuff, isn't it?
And
I know that's wild. And you're saying you don't know any of them? I was asking.
Unfortunately, I don't. Actually, thankfully, I don't. To be honest,
like because you're an East man, but I'm like I was a middle class East man. I was in Dundonald. Like it was. Do you know what? I didn't feel like we were middle class until some cunt on our street got a fountain, and then I was like. For fuck's sake, mate! You're making us all look like.
What kind of fountain? Like a bird fountain?
It was a proper little. It was like it was Hamwood Park. None of my family live there anymore. I can say, but it's like the first house you see coming in, which is even weirder, no more annoying. But like it's like one of them wee square ones, and then there's a little square one on top of it, and then a little.
And the water's permanently flowing.
Permanently flowing.
Oh, that's a big flex.
I know, there's a big flex. Yeah. He was somebody. It was like I used to go to that guy's house as well because my brother was mates with him. But it was one of those things like whenever he was going out, my mum would be like, "Take your wee brother with you." And I feel like that's kind of what AI is like now. And you go on a website and it's like Google's like, "Here, take Gemini with you," and you're like, oh, "But Gemini's a fucking Gemini's annoying," and you have to go home early because Gemini shits itself. It's just like your little brother, But like what were we talking about? Vigilantes.
Similar to the fountain, though. Actually, I suppose this is the working class version. When we lived in Tullycornet, our neighbour got a fucking motorhome. My dad hated the bastard thing because it killed our palm tree. We had a palm tree in the front garden, and it blocked the sun. Whatever way the sun went, it didn't get enough sunlight and died.
How big was this fucking van?
Big van, like it took up so much, and they didn't even fucking use it. Like that's the worst part about it.
See, a lot of people get like wee camper vans and then they just sit in their driveway forever, don't they?
Yes, and it's like you see that a lot of the time, even with like the mobile caravans. The ones that are like they've got algae and mold on them and things. You're like,
yeah.
Why do you have that? I saw a boat in Malta when we were driving about in a taxi. There was some guy just had a full boat in his driveway, and it was just completely derelict. And I was like, what a waste of money that would have been.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, he's probably paying a monthly fee for that somewhere.
And there must be. You have to pay someone for it.
Yeah,
and you're like,
Malta too,
bastard and thing. And there's plenty of like docks. I don't know.
Bring
it to.
Yeah, get on the fucking boat. You can't. Like it must be like. I mean, though, it's probably one of those things where it's like. do you know when you like take the piss out of something and then you look into it and you go, something tragic, really? Do you know what I mean? You like you really really make fun of something and then you go, he's not in the boat.
Like the owner was dead.
His
cat's in him or something. Yeah. No one knows it because he doesn't have any family.
That's gonna happen to me too. Because like my partner and I were not having kids, like so. And I suspect I'm gonna be the last to die, so I think about this a lot because I'm trying to prepare myself for dying alone, and God, this is a wild trajectory of a podcast, and I think all the time of I'm like, cats are probably gonna eat me, and then sometimes I'm like, I look at the cats and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna
get fed.
Yeah, it's not gonna bother me. Like, eat away. I mean, wait till I'm gone. But like, I heard somewhere once that cat will only wait half an hour before it starts to eat a body.
But dog waits like weeks or something.
Yeah,
doesn't
something
it?
like that. Yeah, and it's like sometimes I wake up and the cat's sniffing me, and I'm like, are you checking? Like, are you looking for a wee meal, you wee bastard?
Have you one cat just?
3 now. Three
My
of the
goodness.
fuckers. 3's too many, but
are they all indoor cats?
All indoor, all indoor. Yeah,
I do like an indoor cat.
Aye, they're all because you don't need to flea drop them because they're not going to get anything.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I feel like they're more docile as well. Are they all? Do you know what breeds they are?
I do. I the British short hair, a ragdoll. And would you just hear British and go, yeah?
I do. They're my favourite breed of cat. I'm not a big cat guy, but I like ragdoll ones as well. To be fair,
because you can just pick them up.
Yeah,
you just pick them up and they go limp.
Is that why they're called ragdolls?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
If you Wikipedia them, there's a weird fucking history behind them as well. Where like the first one was found near Area 51 or something.
Really?
And so she's a nutcase. Like the person who raised it is like, she's like, I think it's an alien. I think it's descended from an alien or something, which is wild. Like, but there's a guy who breeds them in East Belfast, and that's where I shouldn't be getting from breeders. I know it's bad, but you're not going to get a ragdoll in a rescue. Like, no, they're too pretty.
I do like the idea of rescuing. Like, as I say, I told you before, but we were looking after my dad's dog there for a while.
Yeah.
And he's 8, and it's nice having an older
Your
dog
because
they're. It's nice having.
You're aging terribly if your dad's it. I'm sorry, you need to moisturize.
But there's like, it's nice to have an older dog because they're not pissing and shitting everywhere. He literally just slept for 16 hours a day.
Wow,
and that's it,
Ideal.
But it's like, it's a nice thing to be like, I'll rescue an older dog.
Aye.
But then, like, they're all a bit fucked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're all a bit of fucking trauma and stuff.
Yeah, they got those like dead eyes and all.
Yeah, and
that's why I love an older dog. I love an older dog that's seen some shit,
The 1,000 miles. I was gonna say 1,000 islands there.
yeah. He's like, Belmont Park, you weren't there, man. You weren't there. He like struts over really slow. I love that shit.
But there's like I suppose it's like the thing with getting banned from like a breeder. If it's like an ethical, you're having a real nightmare with that.
Absolutely nightmare. Like,
you can use the tea towel more. Where did you put it?
Just I've dropped it already. I might, actually. I'm just going to pop it on the tea towel if that's right.
Work away.
But, yes, sorry. Banned from a breeder, you're saying?
Yeah, we had a Westie before, and like I feel like with those, you can kind of mould the dog into what you want it to be, like the personality-wise.
Yeah.
As mental as that sounds, you can't.
No, I know what you mean.
Couldn't do that with anything else, really, could you?
It sort of becomes a reflection of you a little bit to a degree.
If you said that about your child, it would be like, I'm going to mould him into the man I want him to be.
Yeah, people will be like, you're going to raise Jeffrey Dahmer, like that attitude. I'm going to mould him to my vision. Though I think that is why some people have kids. I think there's some people who have kids because it's like, no one agrees with my views, so I need to make someone tell them how the world works since they're like 2, and then they change their mind when they're 20 anyway.
Yeah.
So
there's also like people who have regrets, I suppose, as well, who are like, I want to make my son live out my dream of being a football player.
Yeah. Did you have that? Did you?
No, thankfully. Like, I wasn't really into football when I was a child. My dad was, they tried to encourage me to go, but like, wasn't really for me, and I wasn't forced to go or anything. I was also shite. That's
well, I think that's a crucial part, I suppose, isn't it?
We don't want to embarrass him his whole life. Do you know what I mean?
Do you ever think? Because I think a lot of people are. What age is your dad, if you don't mind me asking?
He's 48.
48. My dad's like 70 now, but nearly. But yeah, I accidentally ended up living out my dad's dream because he was always like sort of funny guy of his group. Do you know what I mean? And So like since I've started doing stand up, you can tell he's like aching to give it a go,
Uh-huh.
and he wrote some bits and all, and he ran them past me.
Really?
They're pretty good. Like, and I think just never really got around to booking him. But I was also like,
You can't say that about your dad. Look, I'm sorry. You
Well,
didn't get around to booking him.
I think you're right. Well, it was more just I felt no right enough. Actually, I can't use that excuse. No, I just I felt a bit weird because I didn't want to put him in the PAV because the PAV's quite a difficult room.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't be able to see. I wouldn't want to see him have a bad gig. I just couldn't. I wouldn't.
It would be one of those ones
be
where, like,
crushing.
if you watched your dad, down his arse,
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
it would be like, fuck. I suppose it's one of those. It's like seeing your dad cry, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
It's like you've never seen him so vulnerable before.
Yeah, or like like the one time in his life he shaved.
Yeah.
You ever get that? Like my dad shaved once, and like he looked good, and he was all right once we'd seen it. But there was this moment where he sort of walks into the room, and he was sort of like, yeah, yeah, or he like he was expecting shit from us, But he just looked exactly like his dad. But fuck, I'm accidentally living out his dream and all. Like, and I think when Madness was going, I would have hoped. I think I did tell him to try and hop on there sometime.
Mm.
He mustn't have got around to it, but like, because that was a much more welcoming room for first timers. I think.
Yeah.
It was, like the PAV is it's fine, but it's
I did want to mention it, to be fair. If anyone, by the way,
It's
doesn't
tough.
know who Luke is, Luke's been doing stand up for many, many years now.
I don't like to say how many because I'm not as good as the many years as I should be. If you know
You
what I mean.
definitely are. You absolutely are.
I'm a
but
very
you,
good comic, but I'm not 13 years good. Do you know what I mean? But
you run the Monday Night Comedy Pavilion, which is
Yes.
probably the most important gig for newcomers.
at the minute because Madden's is gone. Yeah.
I think both are equally as important. I think Madden's is good for your
Madden's
very
is really
first
good.
time because it's a welcoming room and it's a small room.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like, I suppose, from my own experience, going to the pavilion after,
Aye.
you get a taste for a bigger room.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you can, it's a mixed bag of like, you can either have a really, really good night or
Yeah.
you can die a death. But
Yeah.
and that's what you sort of need as well at that stage.
I think so. You need to be tested. I think you know what I mean because like I think you're whenever you have a really good first gig, and I see this in people's eyes, is they don't believe you
Yeah.
when you say like there is going to be a bad one at some point because
Mhm.
you can see after the first gig, you can see in their heart they're going like, well, maybe I'll never have a bad one. Like that won't be me. And I was that. Like my
Yeah.
second gig was in the PAV because it's been going since 2008. Someone else ran it before
Mhm.
me. A couple people did. Alan Irwin ran it for a year and brought a bit of life into it, and then I swooped in and took all the credit for the next 12 years. But like.
It's a bit like Watford, I suppose. Just
Yeah.
changed hands.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right enough. Actually, yeah. It's more like a fucking Munich disaster a lot of weeks. But shout out Adam Mogi. I only know that because he did a joke about it last night in the Glenowin. But
I think because I did the newcomer night, and it was like
Aye.
a competition. Aidan Rafferty was on as well.
they
which
were
is-
great. Yeah, they were great.
they were
nights.
good.
And Aidan was great too, and you
He
were
was
great.
good. Thank you.
I can't remember who was on with you, but they're usually pretty solid. There was one or two that was like, the people that won were the only good ones on, and they
Mhm.
deserved it. And then there was some where it was I don't know how people chose, but like it's weird whenever you really advertise it as like newcomers night.
Mhm.
Like the first time we did it, Franco won it. That's how long ago that was.
Uh-huh.
It's 2021, I think. But like the first time we did it, I was like, I had too many people waiting for their first gig post pandemic, and I just like, if I put on one or two a week like I normally do, it will take 6 months.
Yeah.
And there was no Maddens as well, so there was no alternative for them. So I was like, stick them all in one night, let them have it, and I was like, it'll be shit, but it'll be worth it. But then if you tell people like newcomers night, everyone's doing their first gig, everyone lowers their standards. Like they're
The
really,
audience-wise?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I think so because there's some nights where everyone was, in my opinion, not very good, but they were having a great gig.
Mhm.
And like, I think people just can be open to new
Yeah,
stuff.
and I think even from myself, like the first couple of gigs I would have done, and people obviously the MC introduces you as like a newcomer, sort of. This is like his fifth gig or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I remember doing bits, and I was like thinking back on them, like they're all shite. You know what I mean? They're
Oh, sure. First year of gigs, you
Yeah.
know, most of your material.
Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I'm like, and the audience, I was still getting laughs, and that's sort of, I suppose it's good and bad. It's good because it feels nice, but it's also bad because it's like it's not a, a good standard to set yourself, sort of thing.
Well, sure. I suppose, yeah, you like it can be quite a higher distance to fall from, but it is also good to know from your first gig, like, oh, I can get this response. Because, like, I think my first gig was at like I did a workshop with a guy called Neil Dugan, I think he's retired now, but he used to do like warm up for Stephen Nolan's show, so that tells you what sort of gig.
That's my dream.
Yeah,
I would fucking love that.
That's your nightmare, surely. That's a fucking
no way.
He did the flag protest one as well. He used to have a really long bit about it and doing the warm up for that and how much of a fucking nightmare it was. He did that for years, and then Shane did it for a week. Apparently, I think he used to have a bit about that.
Warm up for Stephen Nolan.
Yeah, you'd need to ask him about it, but like he used to do warm up, and then I think that went quite badly. And then it was May McFetridge from then on. I think it still is May McFetridge.
Love May McFetridge.
May McFetridge.
And I tried to write a bit about this before, and I just can't get it. Like, I just couldn't get it to work about how people say Northern Ireland's transphobic, but literally one of our biggest superstars is May McFetridge.
I think that's a really good point, and like it should be brought up to people who are transphobic that they probably love May McFetridge as well. It's like, do you think May McFetridge is going to molest your kid? Like, absolutely not. She'll beat the shit out of your kid at golf. Apparently, she's apparently really good at golf. Yeah, I got roasted by May McFetridge when I was a baby because my mum was on like a Stena Line cruise or something, and May McFetridge was basically just roasting people in the crowd. Like, and she pointed at my mum, was like, seen bare legs hanging out of a nest, and then like I think I was crawling on a table, and I think she just said I was a wee brat or a wee shite or something. But yeah, I should tell her that about him. I think
he does identify as a fella. It's just a character.
I think he's a him. Like, so yeah.
He's some performer, by the way.
I saw here. Have
you ever been to the pantomime?
No, I thought you meant like as a stand-up, because apparently...
Oh no, I don't know about stand-up now, but I've been to the, like, when I was younger. Now I haven't been in a good while, but I always remember like being in stitches at the pantomimes.
I know, I do remember him as a panto dame when I was a kid, like, and he was fucking class, in fairness. But
is that the name? Is that what you call them, a panto dame?
I think so. Yeah.
Is the dame usually? Is it always a man dressed as a woman?
I think so. Traditionally, yeah. I think it's like, and it's just kind of like, why is this so difficult for your kids to see if it's in a library and they've got a book? Yeah. I think there's like a lot of misinformation about like drag queen story where they're like, well, they're naked and they're talking about fucking, and it's like they're not, mate. They're reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar in a wig. It's like, it's not dangerous. But though, in fairness, like, you know, maybe like. Maybe if they included some like a panto dame in the vigilante activity, it would be less threatening. Do you know what I mean? Like, or like, what are you doing in this park? And then like, there's somebody like in a dress behind them going, "Yeah, what are you doing in this park?" Like snapping like grease coming towards them and all. I think that'd be good crack.
Look at the camera; it's behind you.
That's great.
Oh no, it isn't. What is it? Why are you out in this park tonight? I'm just walking home from work. Oh no, you aren't.
Oh, that's wild. And did you see that footage of it was the Ormo Park one where they're like, there's a guy there, he's clearly just sleeping rough in the park.
Yeah.
And they're like, let me see your ID, and he shows them their ID, and that's somehow not satisfactory. They're like, what are you doing in the night near this, like, a park for kids? And it's like, it's 3 a.m, mate. This is the safest time for this guy to be, even if he was a paedophile.
He'd be a pretty bad one.
He's pretty bad. Yeah, he's like no sense of timing at all.
He's like, I heard they got out of school at 3 o'clock.
He's just sitting tapping his foot with a big butterfly net waiting. He's got the child catcher van just parked in double yellows. Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? Like,
they're probably more of a problem than they are doing good. Like, I saw them. There was a guy, and he was like, it was such a weird situation because there was like a foreign guy, right, and they followed him home, and the house he lives in is with like a house share with like 3 or 4 other fellas, right?
Aye.
And they're fucking arguing with him outside the house, and there's so many things in it that you're like, are you people really that stupid? They're like, 5 of you is packed up in that house, and it's like, that's a normal number of people in a house. And the guy, so one of the guys comes down who's from here, I think he's from Ballymena or something, and they're like, they assume that he's the landlord, and they're like accosting him, and he's like, I literally just live here, mate. He works, we all work, you know what I mean? And they're like, fucking 5 fellas living in a house all by yourself, fucking weirdos. And it's like, what is the problem
5
here?
fellas wandering the streets at night by yourselves? That's fucking,
you're fucking, you think you're Batman or something?
Yeah, I think that's what it is that I think people want to feel like they're doing something heroic, and there isn't that many opportunities to feel like you're doing that in real life, other than sticking a few quid in the charity box or something, or I mean, like, maybe.
Do you think you've ever done anything truly heroic?
I mean, it depends who you ask. I mean, I do work in a suicide hotline, so some people would tell me. Some people would tell me you've saved a life tonight, but like, I think sometimes they say that, and I immediately go, nah. Yeah. Like, it was all you. You did all the work. You know, I was just asking you a couple questions. It was all you doing the. If you're still alive from your own hand, you've saved your life. But
I mean, the gigs you've put on in the pub are pretty heroic as well. Sometimes
some of them have been heroic. I think, like, comedically heroic. There's the best feeling in the world, and is sadistic, but the best feeling in the world is a gig when everyone dies and then you have an absolute stormer.
Yeah.
I fucking...
It's real Homelander shit there.
Real Homelander shit, yeah. Like, I'm almost like trying to sabotage other people's sets. I'm like, boo!
It's the satisfaction you get as well of being like, of like someone who's quite clearly died on their hole, and you're like, it was good stuff, mate.
Yeah. I think, like, usually I do mean it when I say that. I try not to lie to people, but usually, you know, like, I have certain phrases that mean that was rough without going, that was shit, because I feel like it's too simplistic to say that was shit. I might say, like, you had him for a bit in the middle, or like you're treading water the whole set, which is sort of like you had a hard time, but you got enough laughs that the people leaving would be like, you know what I mean?
Fine.
I think, like, is the thing is, and you see this among the bigger acts sometimes, because, like, there's a really big act who, I was just running the American for Alan Irwin there last week. He was in Edinburgh, but when I was running the American, there was like a big act doing a work in progress, and I watched it, and it was like, it was really good. It was really good, I thought. It was like, we did about 50 minutes, I think, roundabouts, and about 40 of it was really, really good. And then the last 10, there was a bit of a dip. And then afterwards, he's like, I think that was the worst work in progress I've ever done. And I was like, I mean, like, maybe I think they judge it when people get past a certain level. They start judging each gig against the best gig they've ever had in their life. Like, you'll see this with Willie. Sometimes comes off stage, like, people have fallen off their chair, and he's like, that was brutal. And it's like, just because you didn't enter a flow state doesn't mean that they didn't enjoy it, you know. Like I think I always have to judge it by what are people saying when they go home, and usually they'll go like, I was all right, you know, which is like no one's really leaving and saying that guy was shit unless you've actively antagonized them or you've performed a silence, which is real. Which you don't really see. Nobody really performs the silence.
Well, you should have seen me last week at that gig. I mean, the first couple, it wasn't total silence the whole way through.
Aye.
But it was one of those. I was doing a longer set. I think it was down for 15 to 20. Aye. And I got through like the first 7, and then I just stopped getting laughs. So what was meant to be 15 to 20 ended up being a tight 11. So it did.
I think that's wise. Because like, I know some people who are like really like, you got to do your time. You got to do your time. They're like, really hold you to it. I'm like, you know, if the person on after me is going to suffer more, I should probably wrap it up while it's good, because it's like, you know, it's about the night. You have a duty to the night, you know. You have a duty to yourself to try stuff that might be shite so you can become a better comedian with more material. But you have a duty to the night to be good as well, you know. And it's like, sometimes being good is fucking off, you know.
I remember, I think it was Alan Irwin who said it to Kieran, and then it's always stuck with me.
It's a good phrase.
It's no one's ever went from home from a comedy gig and been like, that wasn't long enough.
Yeah, 100%. Your average gig is about 2 hours, but if there was enough stage time going around, I would make each gig about an hour and a half tops, including the break. Like, there was a PAV on Monday where, because Lavery's owns the PAV, and we've had a bit of back and forth about certain things at the minute, and they sent somebody down just to watch the night on Monday, take some photos for their website and all. Like, they took some nice quality photos, but because I knew they were sending someone down, I was like, well, I better make this like a really good PAV. I didn't book anyone that I wasn't 100% sure of. Like,
that's why I wasn't on it, by the way.
I haven't had you in a wee while, actually.
No, I know.
I haven't had you in ages. But that's not intentional now. But there was no weak spots, and it was a great night, start to finish, over by 10. So it really tight as well. And afterwards, I was like, it could be like this every week if I didn't give a fuck about if I didn't give a fuck about people putting on people who are new or not good, or trying something. And it's like,
I think you have that sort of I don't know what the right word is. It's sort of like the, not reputation, but sort of like, you've got the sort of standing with the PAV that you don't need it to be perfect every week?
I don't think so. I think when people go, they understand that there's a certain degree of. I mean, it's a fiver first of all.
Yeah.
It's nothing. But I think people go knowing that it's like you might see people be not great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or people who are new, and like that's you don't get good comics without people being bad for a while.
Yeah, I feel like as well though, like people who are going to the PAV just as like a punter, sort of have an understanding that like I'm not paying the money to go to Lavery's to see Shane, Colin, Aaron, Willie, whoever. I'm paying a fiver to go in to see sort of like
a good night, not a great night,
do you know what I
a
mean?
good night.
Well,
like,
it can be. It
can be great.
you know,
can be great.
So there is that element to it as well, and we obviously did do a lot of joking about wafflers about the PAV that's been edited out.
Oh, has it? I don't mind that.
Well, no, it was just some
names,
of
the names, specific names. Because I know there's an act who's like become an in joke to your mates as well, which I can't blame your mates for making that guy. That guy's crazy. But so maybe might want to cut that out. But there is some stuff I need to. I was going to ask you to edit out of Wafflers as well. Just one thing actually as well.
Well, you can ask me after, but I'm
not
more
the
than
Hamas
likely,
stuff. The Hamas stuff is fine.
Oh yeah, more than likely it'll get edited out anyway.
Yeah,
Well.
I just had to drop in that we talk about Hamas in this because I feel like that's a good.
We don't talk about Hamas. It's more Israel, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. No, but I talk about going with someone who is now married to someone who got arrested for being in Hamas. But then, like, the thing about that is, I was like, was he actually in Hamas? And she's like, everyone's in Hamas a bit, like he got arrested because he had plans to do some stuff, but he was kind of planning it on his own, I think. But I think he, kind of everyone
freelancing.
He's like the Peter Parker of Hamas, Anyway, but fuck. How do we get here? Vigilantes. How many bedrooms were in this house with the
five? It was a 5-bedroom house. It's an HMO as well, so there's multiple bathrooms.
Fuck's sake. Like, I think I see the appeal of people going like, maybe there needs to be beat cops. You need to feel like there's a certain degree of safety walking the streets or something.
The last thing that makes me feel safe is seeing a load of hooded East Belfast men.
Just
going
some
around
guy.
with flick bats. Do you know what I mean?
Like those guys aren't great at, like, police aren't always great at deciding what is and is not worthy of violence and attention, but they're fucking better at it than some guy in the street.
One of the guys I was telling you about, who assaulted the 14-year-old, I actually went on his TikTok, and he's out on bail, so he has to be home for like 10:30.
I know who you mean. Is he a rapper, or he thinks he's a rapper?
I hope not. I didn't see any rapping on his videos.
Okay.
To be fair, he might be. I have no idea. He goes by a nickname, but he there was like they were doing like a bail call, to check that he was in his house, and it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? If you have to be in home for a certain time, I feel like the dangerous people are home at that time as well. Oh. You are one of the dangerous people.
Yeah. There's like he can't go near schools or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's like, what are you doing? And what I love that they do is they just make up that there's children nearby.
Aye.
Like there was those guys I was telling you about. I don't know, did I mention it on the podcast, or was it before just about the guy on the scooter?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Mention it. So there was a video of a guy on a scooter, like a young 14-year-old boy on a scooter just riding about like in the east, and this guy comes up and assaults him with a flick bat.
Right.
And he's like, we were down near those kids earlier on, and it's like the guy goes, literally, what kids are you talking about? And it's like they just make it up, because obviously the people who are watching it are like, they don't know that there's no girls or whatever nearby.
If he's on a scooter, he can't have been near those kids for long. He was probably going past them.
Yeah. Exactly. He's like, what are you doing near them? And it's like, he's on his way home from somewhere, obviously.
Yeah, it's like, you can't, kids do exist. You do have to be around a kid at some point in your life. You know what I mean? It's like, it's
unfortunately as well, like they're fucking shite most of the time.
Yeah. Kids are shy crack these days as well.
I'm so awkward. I dread the time I have children that I'm like having to interact with them, because I am useless. Going for handshakes and things.
I think though kids kind of love that. I really embrace that. I think kids kind of like being treated like an adult, like, and I don't mean that in a pedophile way, but like I think sometimes I talk too much to kids like they're fully adults. There's these kids in my street, and like, they're good crack. Sometimes I'll just say hello or whatever, and I'm on the way to my house. But the other day they were like on top of my bin, and they were trying to sort of jump off it and all. And I sort of went out and I had a word and all. But I couldn't really think of how to convince them not to jump in the bin, because I was like, they're going to ask why.
Yeah.
And I feel like I hate telling a kid just because I hate that, because I hated hearing that as a kid. So I was like, I couldn't really think of anything. And I was like, it's full of dog shit. I was like, I don't have a dog. And they know I don't have a dog. It's like, I just collect dog shit in my bin. I think it was just like,
you have to commit to it then. You have to go around and start collecting dog shit.
I'm just fully shitting in a bin myself as well.
Just your own shit.
Yeah, just when I'm like,
in wee poo bags.
My neighbour has a dog, in fairness. Shitting in a bin would be going too far.
I was, about the dog that we were looking after, I used to have a dog, right, and I'm not proud to admit this, but whenever I used to walk him in Tullycornet, it was a big grassy hill, and he would just shit in the hill. And I'm of the opinion that shit decomposes in the grass. Do you know what I mean?
You've lost every listener over 35 at the moment. I'm 34. I'm in the
so
window.
You're teetering on the edge.
I'm in the window.
So I was like, I left it, and I learned from didn't learn from mistakes. There was no mistakes made, but when I was walking this dog, obviously concrete everywhere, I was picking it up. But because I'm not used to it. I'm like violently like heaving and everything, walking about the streets.
Oh, it takes a bit of getting used to.
And I'm like, you know when you dry heave and you're like, your eyes are watering.
Yeah.
So it looks like I'm walking the dog crying. My AirPods were dead the other day, and I was taking him out a walk, and I was like, I need to listen to music, so I took my PlayStation headset, which it's wireless, but thankfully.
Is that like one of them big things?
It's a full-on headset, walking about. Thankfully, the microphone goes into the headset itself, but I did put it out for a minute just to like take a photo, and it looked like I was like a radar, like a pilot or something.
Yeah, people don't think you're doing COD during this, walking down the street, saying the N-word or whatever.
Walking around crying with picking up dog shit.
Yeah, I got owned. Oh god, owned. That's showing my age. Like owned is so fucking. I know. I do still play some video games, but like,
what was the last one you played?
I played Left 4 Dead last night. I fucking
Left 4 Dead.
I still quite regularly play Left 4 Dead. It's fucking
on the Xbox, is it?
No, just on the computer. Like,
PC. Right.
I got it when it was released in 2008. Like, and I still play it quite regularly.
I remember getting Left 4 Dead 2 for Christmas,
it's
and
so
it was
good.
like whenever I was that age, I was allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. Thank fuck that was that one that I opened.
Yes.
And I was like, I got to play it for a few hours, but when you played it that time, I think I was quite young, and I was playing it that time of night, and it was a scary game when you were like younger. And the witches, do you remember the witches in it?
The witches, the wee crying girl as well, the big claws and all. Oh, that was fucking.
And the boomers, and you could play as the zombies, couldn't you?
You could do versus, but that was really frustrating. I really hated doing versus. I'm very much like.
I love that you've done that, by the way.
Oh yeah, is it the first?
Off camera, yeah, the first one to do it. Off camera, the angle is just out of angle.
I've been in this room about an hour and I'm acting like I own the place.
He's just refilled his water glass, which is, I love that. I want the guests to feel comfortable to do what they want.
Very much at home.
Like, I haven't ever offered anyone a cup of tea or anything because I am useless. I don't drink it, so I don't really
tea maker. And I used to work in like a supported living place for adults with learning difficulties, so you made a lot of tea there. Yeah. And like after a while, like, you know, they've got learning difficulties. It's not learning impossibilities. Like they learned that I was shit at making tea, and some of them would like go to ask me and then change their mind mid sentence and remember, like ask a different assistant to make it. It's like, yeah, I have dog shit at this.
Are you a tea or coffee drinker?
I'm a tea guy, but I'm like, I'm all herbal now. Like I'm quite getting older. I need to
like a green tea thing
grease,
sort of thing.
Yeah, I need to grease the joints. Like, well, I actually know it was. Do you know what? I've been drinking green tea for a long time because my ex got me into it. And then, do you know, like in Breaking Bad, every time he murders someone, he keeps a trait of theirs. Like, I don't know if you notice this. Like, he kills that guy and then he starts cutting the crusts off his bread whenever he's making bread.
I didn't know that at all, actually.
Yeah. I'm like that with exes, where I keep a little bit of. So there's green tea and then there's Hamas and then there's I can't remember what I got from the violin lady, but there's
a bit of a spectrum.
From
cross or the
some of them were very much on a spectrum. But I think and you know, maybe that's what makes it meaningful. Sometimes is you keep a little thing from them, so you go, right, that wasn't a waste of time because I drink green tea now. But it's too jokey for a podcast.
Yeah.
People go, you know, it's a bit like that.
I did a bit recently about, I suppose I actually don't even, I'll sort of out myself. The part of the bit is about dogs getting a finger up their arse to stop them from attacking people.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
Oh yes, it was in, and I did in Madden's the two punchlines, and it was I did the punchline, you know, that I didn't that I asked for feedback on, that I was like, should I do that one? William said no, do the other one.
Aye.
Well, in that gig there the other week, I did the one that I wasn't supposed to do. Don't know why. I don't know why it came into my. I think I forgot the other one or something, and it went down literally as I expected. Just a load of from the crowd, which is almost worse than silence.
Oh God, yeah. Like sometimes it's worse than that. It depends. If you can get an entire room to groan, it's kind of the same as a laugh. But if you get scattered groans, it's like,
you have to apologize, don't you?
Yeah. Or I have something I would sometimes close on is this long story about the suicide hotline, and it goes quite grim and it's quite dark at some points. And like I was in the Glenowen last night, and I had a very good set, I thought, up to just that last bit where but it was lucky it was the entire room groaning.
Yeah.
So you just sort of smile through it, and I kind of.
It's a rough one to close on a groan as well, isn't it?
If you look as disgusted as them, it's kind of like, no, we're all uncomfortable. So you need to like grin through it. Like, I'm fine with it, so you should be fine with it. But it's a weird little dynamic, like, isn't it? Have you much coming up gig wise at the minute?
Lavery's in a couple of weeks, which is huge. Yeah,
that's the third, isn't it? Second?
No, debut.
No way.
Debut Lavery's. Yeah.
I could have sworn you'd done it before.
No. I haven't. 10th and the 11th I'll be in Lavery's, and then Lazy Boys Live. I'm doing.
Oh, nice. Are you doing that?
Well, I don't know if I'm assuming it's open. No, I'm not doing the actual podcast. I'm doing a stand-up set at it.
That's Mandela, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is that?
The 21st Sunday.
Right.
That'll be good.
I can get you some pubs before that to get you nice and humble.
I was going to ask, actually, to be fair, afterwards. I do need sort of, because the bits that I want to work on, after that one last week, I'm like, I need to fucking sort something out.
That's, well, I'll not say the name of it then, but that was the one we were talking about before, wasn't it?
Yeah, the gig, we did it last year and it was very good. I know we can talk about it. It was the Sirocco Works fundraiser.
It was rowdy but good last year. You could surf them a bit.
There was, that one you did, there was, I think, 100 people in it, and it was packed. Do you remember how busy the room was?
Rammed.
The one the last week, it was, I think he said they sold about 60 because they didn't want it to be so busy.
Oh, okay.
The problem was that the room was a bit lopsided and that most of the audience were at the back. There was 2 people actually, and this is the first that I've ever been like recognised, or like someone's came to something because they've seen me somewhere. There was 2 people who were like, they'd seen me on Tea With Me or whatever, and they were like, we came down to see you. And I was like, you're in for a rough night then. And they were, and like, don't get me wrong, love the fact that they did that. They ended up absolutely paralytic and were a bit of, I don't want to say a nightmare, but they were vocal, I would say.
Football clubs are the only place you can get a cheap drink now as well, aren't they? Was it because it's just tins? Like, how much is it for a pint?
No, it was pints and all in it as well. But it was $4.50 a pint, which is good.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
You've done the Duns before as well. You did the Duns last year.
I did. That was great.
You emceed it, didn't you?
I was, but I hadn't emceed that much around the time, so I felt a little shaky, and I was kind of just. I was on the knife edge of good and bad for most of the night.
I'm pretty sure that gig followed, because you emceed the one we did last year in the Sirocco Works one. Aye. And then I was like, I want Luke to MC the one in the Duns. Right. That's what it was.
Yes, I think sometimes when it's a new room, you get a bit more anxious than you should be, as if you've not done stand up before. It's like, I've just not done stand up here before, and I think I got a bit wrapped up in the idea of like, oh, this is a very Protestant room,
Yeah.
And I was like, whenever I did it, I was like, it was fine. I was like,
both those gigs have actually been very good in the Duns.
So I hear.
Unfortunately, they got rid of the stage for a dartboard. Yeah, there's a dartboard now. Yeah, it's like fuck. So I don't know what
literally sort of put a dartboard anywhere.
There's a dartboard that was on the stage, but they've like upgraded it and removed the stage and like got like a proper Aki is what it's called. For like the line out for where you're meant to stand.
Yes.
And they've I think they've put a couple more boards there as well, but it's fucking I don't know if I can do stand. I think I kind of like is my sort of I don't know, like persona in stand up is like doing stand up in front of 3 dartboards. You know what I mean? I feel like that's an image that I like. You would look at it and be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I think so. I could see you doing like working men's clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you'd need to be wearing a suit for those gigs, I think, wouldn't you? You'd need to be like
Johnny Bow style.
Johnny Bow style. I feel like a lot of comics have a phase where, because Paddy had it and Sean had it, Sean Haggerty and Paddy McDowell, but like they had a phase where they're like, I need to treat this like a job, so they like wore a suit on stage, and then I think most people do that for about a month, and then they go, "This is a fucking nightmare doing this is
sweating and everything.
Sweating like fuck. Also, wearing a suit when the gig isn't busy looks really lame, and ironically, it looks kind of like you're doing an ironic thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think Paddy did the Pav once in a suit, and there was like 8 or 9 people, and it was because it was pre-pandemic. Like 8 or 9 would have been a lot pre-pandemic. It's been consistently busy for the last 3 or 4 years now. But whereas before you would still get busy pre-pandemic, but it would be like much more fewer and far between. But like, yeah, he did a Pav once in a suit, and there was like 7 people there. Also, fucking, it was a star-studded lineup. It was like Vittorio Angeloni before he was famous. Fucking, I think Alan Irwin was on in there somewhere. And like, I was MCing because the MC pulled out, and Vittorio was like, I MC a couple clubs in London, I could do it for you if you want. And I was like, I hadn't seen Vittorio before, so I was like, nah mate, I'll do it. And Vittorio's whole family were there, and then I went on stage, and like, Diane is bad, but Diane as an MC is like, I keep coming back to die more. And like, everyone was having a hard time. Partially it was because the room had just been renovated, and they hadn't fixed the lights yet, so it was way too bright. But it was like, it was like, because I've never really seen Paddy do. Paddy used to be the guy who would gig anywhere. So I think maybe in the past I probably would have seen it, but I haven't seen him do a bad gig in so long. And it was just interesting seeing how different people react to stuff like that. Because like with Paddy, he would do a joke, and if it didn't land, he would go, "That was fucking good, fucking clap." And they did come around, but it was like he had to like fucking
Force
beat them into submission, you know. And like, I felt bad because it was just, you know, as an MC, you feel like it's your fault that everyone's dying, and some of them in front of their whole fucking family. But like, obviously Vittorio's family knows he's a good comedian, like now, but I probably didn't do anything to help that.
But the suit, I mean,
suit. So yeah, he was in the suit for that. Like, that was his suit.
I love the tangents we go on. Oh, it's brilliant. But
Yeah.
I think it's like an older thing. Like, well, maybe if you watch like the older Live at the Apollos and everything, like Sean, or what do you call him? I used to really like him when I was a kid.
Sean Locke,
Sean Locke would have been
Sean Locke's a banger. Like, yeah.
I know. I still like him now. It wasn't even him I was thinking of. It was Lee Evans.
Oh, Lee Evans,
always be in a suit. Kevin Bridges usually in a suit as well.
Bridges still in a suit these days. Yeah.
Well, the last time I saw him in the Odyssey, he was in a suit.
Aye.
And I think you sort of have to. I don't know if it's like a big act sort of thing. Like if you're doing like arenas,
Did a big room.
Should you be in a suit? But then I'm like, I look weird in a suit.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think it depends as well. I suppose I do think it is a big act thing.
See, these aren't like, you know, suits with ties. These are like sort of business casual suits where you've got the open collar, black, you know, like a linen shirt, or not a linen, silk shirt or something. Aye. And it's like, I look weird in that. I look like I'm, you know, coming out of court. Where if it was in a wedding suit, it also looks like a 3-piece, you know, fucking waistcoat and everything. That also equally looks even weirder. You don't want to. No one should have a cravat like on stage. Certainly
you know?
not.
I think like if you're doing the SSC and all, like I actually no, I don't even think it's just a big act thing. It's a age group of your like fan base stuff.
True.
Because Lee Evans would have been sort of folks who were middle aged then, probably old now, and like Kevin Bridges, obviously, as for a young comedian, quite an older fan base, I would say, because he's very like he's proper jokes, you know, he's like old school.
What was that? What was that?
Geordie. It was Geordie. But there's an act called Gavin Webster from Newcastle, and like he does, he's really fucking good. You should look him up. But whenever he slips a wee one-liner into a set, he does it so quickly, and then he sort of taps the mic and he goes, "It's like that, proper jokes, proper jokes." So like, it's something that me and Alan say to each other sometimes. Proper jokes. Like
Kevin Bridges is very young as well. You never really consider it.
He's kind of he's kind of Scotland's Mickey Bartlett in that. Like, I'm saying that because when Mickey started, he used to be like Northern Ireland's Kevin Bridges in his sort of bio stuff. But basically another way of saying we're both 26, you know. But I mean, Mickey is kind of like our Kevin Bridges. Like Mickey's big, but he should be bigger. Like he's fucking incredible.
Do you have like something on the topic of like wearing things at gigs? If you do you have like something you say you get booked for the Odyssey, right? You're doing a solo show Odyssey.
Aye.
Do you in your mind do you have like the outfit that you would wear?
It's this. It's just this. I used to wear the same thing for every gig for a while, and it was a wee Hawaiian shirt thing because I thought like, Do you know Matt Groening in The Simpsons, the guy?
Yes.
He said that every character you have should be recognizable by silhouette, and no one ever remembers a stand-up comic's name, even if they enjoy them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you dress the same every time, you're more recognizable to people. And
Right.
so I wore that Hawaiian shirt for every gig for like maybe a couple years, and then I noticed that Mickey Bartlett wears pretty much the exact same shirt, and I was like, and he was there first, and he's bigger and better. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, I'll wear something else. So it's now this. Because it's just
You had that on with the
functional.
B team as well, didn't you?
I did.
The denim jacket,
Yeah. Well, because it looks normal, but also it's there's this gig I run called Best of Three, which you're welcome to do as well, by the way. But it's only, the sets are only like 3 minutes. So it's nice to just try something or fuck around or whatever. And it's a competition and all. But I put on like 13 people because they're only 3-minute sets.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say? Yeah, when there's that many acts, because it's a competition, people vote in the end who their favorite act is. They get a little plastic trophy. Yeah. But and there's that many acts, people don't really remember. People remember you even less. So whenever people are voting, they'll go like, "Oh, it was the guy with the hat," or your like. If you go do Best of Three and you're wearing like a monocle or something and you do good, you'll probably win because people go, "I don't know, the fucking monocle guy."
The monocle guy.
You know what I mean? Like, there's times people have won. It's like they've done good, but not as good as some other people. But they've won. It's like people go, "Oh, he's got a guitar." The guy with the guitar. It's like what was it they used to call it? Peacocking.
Peacocking for like
peacocking?
males who are like, that's like what males like flexing their muscles and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was something from like the pickup artists in the 2000s. They used to call it, because I did read those when I was like 15. Because I did
The pickup artists.
I did. I read that when I was 15. Because I was like, somebody teach me this, and then you read it and you went, I know it's not that. It's definitely not that. The stuff about being natural and confident, that was good, and then the rest of the stuff where you're like, pretend that your friend is on Jeremy Kyle and ask someone their opinion on that, and it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But like, they called it peacocking, where it's like, wear a big hat so women will want to come over and touch your hat or take your hat off you or whatever. And it's like, oh, fuck off. And it's like the guy who was big, who got like a reality show, was called Mystery, and like, clearly mentally unwell. Like, if any video you see of him, he's clearly a deeply unhappy man. But he's also wearing a massive fucking fur coat and a big fucking purple top hat, and he's doing magic tricks to women in the club and all. And it's like, and he's like, I sleep with 3 women a day. And it's like, I think that's because you're 6'7", mate. It's not because of the big hat, you know. In fairness, magic tricks make you do look pretty charismatic, I suppose, but it doesn't. Nobody's ever been like, this guy pulled a coin behind my ear and I wanted to fuck him. I want to fuck him real bad.
What's the best magic trick you've ever seen?
Best magic trick I've ever seen? I don't know, actually. Do you know George Firehorse? He sometimes MCs the PAV.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. He's like, do you know, because you wouldn't know to see him MCing the PAV because you go, oh, comedy magician, that's good fun.
Yeah.
But he's also like I think he was #1 kids entertainer in the UK for a while or something.
Really? I think it was Adam was telling me that's like his main thing. That's
his main thing. Yeah. He did Willie Thompson's his like 7th birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That is mental.
That is wild. Like, and he like recognized Willie when he started doing stand up, because I think Willie actually made a joke when that was all right when he was younger, because it's something like, he does this joke where he goes, "Would you want to hear a joke about what's Paul McCartney's favorite fruit?" And he goes, banana, and then he goes, banana. Grapefruit. It's a grapefruit, but it's great joke. I love that. But but that's a joke you could do at a stand-up night and a kids' party. Yeah, sort of depending on the age of the kids.
Depending on the kids, yeah. Those sexuals go, who's Paul McCartney?
I think he does that one for the dads. I think.
Yeah.
But, he said, "What's Paul McCartney's favorite fruit?" And like Willie, as a child, said John Lemon, which is that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good for a very good joke for an 8-year-old to come up with on the spot. I'm like, oh man, this kid's got to be adopted. You don't do that with you don't do that with a healthy childhood, you know.
what was I going to say? Oh, the with the magic tricks.
Matrix, yeah.
I'd seen, and it's a good point actually that maybe a magician makes people want to fuck people.
Yeah.
Because my dad had one in his wedding, and I don't know if that's maybe like a thing that they do at weddings.
I hope your dad did have sex after the wedding. No.
I don't want to know if he did or not.
Is it not like annullable if you don't have sex? Anyway, sorry. Is that
a thing? Is it?
I think if you want to get it properly annulled by the Catholic Church, you have to prove that you didn't consummate it on the night.
Not Catholic.
Or is it at all? Oh yeah, right enough. Yeah.
I wouldn't have a clue. Mate.
I don't know what the Protestants then basically invented divorce, didn't they?
That's true actually? Yeah,
something like that.
Martin Luther. That was
Martin
Luther. No, that's what you call him. Your man who made the Protestant church.
Yeah.
Martin Luther.
He pinned that on the door.
Yes, he did. What do you call it?
I hate my wife.
The Reformations.
The Reformation. Yeah.
He's like, fucking. That's all it came from. Was, I can't stand this woman.
Get me out of this house.
And the church was like, he goes, why don't we just make a new church?
Do it myself.
But he had the magician, and I can't remember the exact trick, but it was like there was a ball involved, and he would like put the ball into the cup. It's very standard, like, oh, the ball isn't there, the ball's there, and then an orange comes out of nowhere under the cup, and it's like genuine. Magic's one of those things. I love it because I'm like, how the fuck did you get that orange there without me seeing it? Do you know what I mean? I need to know your tricks.
I love that shit. Yeah, it's mysterious. Hence mystery, I suppose. I don't know if this counts as a magic trick, but in Edinburgh one year I saw this guy, and he was like it was a variety show, so I didn't go out just to see this male stripper, but he was a male stripper. and I think Willie talked about it at a Mudblood thing, but yeah, he takes off his kilt, and honestly, biggest dick I've ever seen. Like more than porn.
Full blown dick. Like,
full blown. Not even erect, but like bigger than any erect penis I've seen. Like,
my goodness.
And it was like it was down to his knees and all. It was bigger than
Jesus
stuff I've seen
Christ.
in porn. I know there's like technically people who have it down. Wasn't there a guy who was like a record breaker, and then it turned out it was 99% foreskin, but it was down to his foot or something like.
Yeah.
So they don't know if they count that or not. But it was.
Oh, surely that
massive.
counts. Surely that's playable, like, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
I'd
That's on side.
Doesn't it cost like a grand just to get the Guinness guy out in the first place, and then he's like, it's all foreskin.
It's all foreskin. he's like
rough.
Yes, everything. How did they work out it was just foreskin? Was he? Because he obviously has to like.
I think they must. Oh yeah, how far? But yeah, because you'd have to pull it very far back to. Good question. I guess they poke to see where it's solid.
In my mind, I'm like thinking it's a really big thick thing, like a almost like a leg, but it probably isn't. It's probably a very skinny thing, and in which case it would be, because then the foreskin itself would be sort of like not flaccid but like floppy.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just
a bit of string,
a deflated balloon
like a lasso. You know,
that's the lamest superpower in the world, isn't it? Like,
lasso man,
the lasso man,
foreskin man.
Yeah, he's like pulling you over, but the whole time he's like, fucking hell. Nightmare.
At what point are you like, you know, in your adult life, are you not like, this foreskin's fucking really, really long? Imagine how long it takes him to take a piss.
Oh god, yeah, it'd be like, do you know when fucking Wile E. Coyote is trying to climb up a rope that's fallen off a cliff, and he's kind of like, that's what he's like having a piss. Do you know what I mean?
The maintenance on that would be horrific.
God, yeah, I can't imagine this guy's maintaining. Surely
you would just have to like get the shower gel and just like funnel it in.
Yeah. You better not use that mint tea tree oil stuff.
No,
yeah, you'd be tingling the rest of your life. Though I've noticed, I don't know if it's me, maybe I'm getting desensitized, but you know that tea tree oil shower gel is meant to make your balls tingle. Doesn't make me tingle anymore.
It doesn't. I never really thought that I got much of a tingle off it, to be honest.
Maybe we just have thick balls.
It could be.
I think they must have changed the recipe at some point. I think cause I think people probably complained, I suppose.
Like, this is tingling my balls. Oh no, my steak's too juicy.
My balls are too tingly. Yeah,
that's the podcast episode. Thick balls.
Yeah, right enough. Fuck. Wait, how long have we done? Actually,
we've done an hour.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, right.
I suppose we could call it there if you like. If you,
thick
busy
balls.
Man to be.
Wait,
thick balls.
Wait. I feel like what were we talking about just before thick balls? Long foreskin guy. How did we get
it was the stripper. Sorry, it was your story about the stripper.
Oh yeah, the magic trick. Yes.
Yeah.
So he stuck like a thing in the end of his cock, and it was like
what was the thing?
A stick, and he lit it on fire, and I can't remember what he did with it after that, but that alone, it's on. I don't know. Willie probably describes it better on Mudblood. He saw it on a different night, but yeah, it was wild.
I need to see that.
I think.
That's some variety for a variety show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Imagine having to follow that.
Oh god, yeah. Larry Dean followed that, who's a great comedian, and but I was like, how the fuck do you just do a set? But Larry Dean's brilliant. He killed it. Like,
did he address it like? Or
yeah,
you would have
Well,
to,
and like he also had a leg up on addressing it as a gay man, I suppose, because
right.
there was just no awkwardness, is more what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't mean like he was on like, oh, wasn't that sexy? It was more just like there's just no awkwardness about talking about penises. You know?
I think if I was, I mean, just on the topic of this guy with the massive penis,
Yeah.
like at what point do you like, I need to make money off this?
Surely, yeah. Like, what was life like growing up for him? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Also, yeah, I don't know if you ever got this, but did you ever get when you were like first watching porn maybe, and you're like noticed you were like, these dicks are not like mine at all. And then the first time
never.
Like, the first time you like speak to one of your mates and like
Right.
and it's like the moment of realization, like mine doesn't look like that, and they also say mine also doesn't look like that, and you're
the
like,
relief,
okay,
probably.
yeah.
Like, I think like
He probably had the same thing, except he was like the opposite end, and he goes,
these
yours
dicks are
isn't.
tiny. Yeah. It's like, have you noticed all the dicks in porn are tiny? That is like, if you were a bully, like a genius bully in secondary school, that is like, that's got to be a power move.
Yeah,
surely.
just to be like, all those cocks are so fucking
You notice
tiny. Like,
much smaller dicks in porn. Like, yeah, I did have that, but what it was more was I used to have a joke about it, but I got circumcised when I was 23, so I had that thing where you couldn't roll the old foreskin back, so I never really felt like my dick looked like anybody else's.
Yeah.
But weirdly didn't bother me that much. I think it was sort of at the back of my mind, but yeah. So I think I was just sort of like, it just looks you know, even whenever you draw a dick,
Yeah.
and you do draw it with the foreskin back a bit.
Yeah.
And see, as you can see the head, I was
Depends
like,
what detail you're going into here. Look as
it's
well,
like, I
mind
was
you.
like drawing very simple dicks. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, because you don't see the head, so it's just like, it's all just one thing, you know? Anyway.
I didn't know. I just before we go, I know a worrying amount of people, not worrying, but like an unusual amount of people who are circumcised.
Yeah.
I think you're the fourth I've met now.
Do you know what? I'll add another, because Mogi got it done there. Adam Mogi, he was doing a set about it last night. No, the day after I got circumcised, I did, like, Sean Haggerty used to run a comedy competition in Bar Bacca, and it was a weekly thing. So, you know, the prize was just a certificate he had printed and framed, which is nice. But I did that the day after I got circumcised, did a whole set about it, and I was like, I kind of have to win this. Like hobbling off the stage, like, you know, I'm like Jack Carroll, you know, going into Britain's Got Talent. I'm like I that was good, and I am good, but I also have to win this now. You know,
Is that why you got it done, just to win that gig?
I think my mum and dad still have the certificate somewhere.
I thought you
of
were
the
going to say
gig.
they still have the foreskin.
The foreskin. I did ask them where they put it as well, because I was like, I'd seen Meet the Fockers, so I thought I get
Can
to
you not
keep
keep
it. They said they take it down to forensics and burn it, but they didn't say they burned it. They just said they take it down to forensics. I was like, have I done a crime? I've done like, imagine if that's how you identify.
That's how you get framed.
He left his foreskin at the scene of the crime.
Look, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Yes,
Is there
indeed.
anything you'd like to plug?
Just myself. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Oh, here, no, I released an hour there that I did last year. It's on YouTube and Bandcamp as an audio. The hour that I did in 2022 is also on those places as well. It'd be lovely if you listen to them.
I'll send them a wee link.
That'll be great, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And obviously Monday Night Comedy at the Pavilion.
Oh yeah. Every Monday.
Every week. Best of threes every week as well, isn't it?
No, that's monthly. That's a monthly one. But that's Saturday afternoon comedy with the Black Box. That's Cathedral Quarter Comedy Club on Instagram and Facebook as well. That's good.
Lovely. What have I got to plug? Lavery's in a couple of weeks if anyone wants to come. Lazy Boys Live. Don't know why I'm not making any fucking money off it, to be fair. But if you'd like to see me,
you're not making any money off it?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
Do you know what? They're very good though. Those guys. We did that roast of Willie last year, and they paid me for that. So I think they probably will pay you, but it's just one of those things they don't really talk about it beforehand.
Unreal. Come to that then. Please come to that. I'm making known that you're there for me.
Yeah.
I will see you next week. Thank you.